The Expanse Osiris Reborn trailer dropped yesterday. Now, for me, that's a big deal. And we'll talk about that real quick, and I will talk about the trailer and then give a reaction to the trailer. I'll tell you why I'm excited to react to this trailer. So, I'm John. I am a big Expanse fan, big Screaming Hawk, and in addition, I have been running for the last 4 years Abrax Precipice, which is an actual play of the Expanse role-playing game. We have several hundred hours of gameplay. We have hundreds of episodes. We've played with people from the show, creators, people that make the game. I've interviewed people that have worked on anything Expanse related, tons and tons of stuff like that. And I'm a big fan, big fan. I was a big fan of the Telltale game, and I'm looking forward to this one as well. Now, I was in the middle of my actual home game when the trailer came out, so I wasn't able to actually see what kind of is going on online and what people are saying. I've been going back and watching people's videos, watched some of the media coverage, watched Owlcat, who's putting the game out here, stuff about it. Went to their website. I immediately pre-ordered it. To be clear, we'll talk about what that looks like here. In addition, I wanted to kind of go and do a reaction to the trailer. I watched it once, and I want to go ahead and go through it again and kind of talk about what I'm seeing and what's going on with it, and what I kind of think is happening to the story. And based on what Owlcat has said, what they've kind of put on press releases, et cetera, then I want to go and look at the pre-orders, their kind of pre-order stuff, what their versions are going to look like, what to expect here, and the like. But what I've gotten online, a lot of people are viewing this as a very Mass Effect-like game, and Owlcat has come out and said that the people that are making the game are very influenced by that. And there's always in the Expanse community, just period. This is going back to the books. There's always been a lot of comparison to Mass Effect on a lot of regards to it, and a lot of parallels. I'm not a big Mass Effect guy, but I'm aware enough to understand the parallels to Expanse. What I do know a lot about is Expanse continuity, both the book and the TV, which are in different continuities, and also the role-playing games continuities, which are the book's continuities, but they're expanded essentially. So I want to go through and take a look at this, and so let's see what we got here. Okay, you go pull the video here. I'm going to watch it with y'all. And I might stop a few times and kind of say a few words here, but let's go ahead and give it a shot here. See what we get. All right, we got a ship, we got some space. So off the bat, they're using the fonts from the show. The similar display. They're working with Alcon, which is the production company that does the TV show. So this is going to be in that continuity. There are some differences between the TV and the book versions of the story. They're not enough to change the overall story enough, but there are some subtle differences. And from my understanding, this is taking place basically right up to and before the TV show picks up, which is when the first book starts. But we have a frigate. Gemini's a frigate means it's a combat ship. It's a heavier combat ship. It's not a battleship, but it can throw down. This would be a ship that is a little bit heavier than the Rocinante. The Rocinante is I believe a light corvette or a corvette. This would be a more heavier battleship. Okay, it's a rescue mission, asteroid belt. So the belt is the space between basically Mars and the outer planets, and where there's a lot of mining going on. A lot of the belter stations are out there. The people that live out in space, and there's a lot going on out there. So we'll see. Kind of, it's a very there's a lot of asteroids there, so it's easy to hide and but that's where Ceres station is. It represents Ceres here, and the like. And Tycho's wherever it wants to be because it's a ship essentially. All right, let's go and watch the rest of this here. We got a nice new looking ship. It says boss bang always right. So this is the bosses always right. They're using the cup model here is really interesting because it's actually the cup from the show, which is an actual real cup. And you can't give them in the States, but you can give them in Germany, because I have a friend in Germany that wants to send me some, and I need to pay her money to send me some. But it is a EMSA 504843 cup, is actually the exact brand of it. But this is the cup that was used in the show on the Martian, on the Rocinante, essentially. So we got people in vac suits. Those are combat vac suits.
Pull up nav tech.
Just a sec. Got it.
So we have kind of the touch displays and everything here. I have some issues with the touch display. Problems on the show is that it's not it should be in there, but it's also not the only way they interact. Touch displays aren't good in high G. Ask the U.S. military about that. But you kind of see the what's kind of cool here is you see like the suits. These are much like the suits on the Rocinante, the combat suits, but these are a little more. These people actually have all the combat gear on. They have the plate armor, the kind of plating on here. This is very much modeled off the way the TV show would be. I would say like in the book continuity, this would be a lot tighter quarters. But you can see that they've pulled models off of the crash couches and such too. So let's go and keep watching this here. Kind of does the swerve over here. It's whoever they're looking for. This is someone named. I didn't catch a name on that. Who is that? Let's see if we can pull some information here. Oop, one more back here. And she's got a Belter accent, so like she's kind of mingling the Beltalota language with English there. I'll grab it later. Let's see here. They're looking for this dude here. She's talking to us. Thank you. Then go check on your friend or. So we have like the name of the ship here, Gemini. We have like this looks like the place they're going to, kind of a readout, which is kind of cool. From my understanding, she's got like a UMC armor on, which is really weird for her having a Belter accent. So like it's, this is the UN Marine Corps type thing, and that's actually a Marine or the UN symbol. This guy, like, I'm trying to think what I see on him, not much. But that's really interesting that she has like this Belter thing, and she's like she's wearing a Marine Corps thing. They're not exactly amicable people.
We've got big enough guns to make justice, all right? Oh, Michael. To a man with a hammer, just about everything looks like a nail.
Aim for show. Time to say oh yeah with our hammer.
Missile range in 1 minute.
So they got this like single engine ship. Pretty nice.
Brace yourselves. We're going for a spin.
They're doing so they're going in. You have like firing from the asteroid here. It looks like PDCs, so they're just trying to shoot the ship down. Usually this closer range, you don't want to throw torpedoes because you'll get debris really bad. Railguns are pretty rare. But they're going to do a flip and burn here to slow down. Oh no, they're going to go straight at it. That's interesting. That's interesting. That was weird that they came in with the nose first, because usually like the problem with that is that if you're coming in nose first, the only way you can really slow down is to flip and hit the burn. So like that's kind of a strange thing. I guess they just go around and come back and burn, but okay, blowing through an airlock, can't go wrong. Good looking airlock. The armor looks pretty good. They have like advanced goggles on and everything. I'm a little surprised at that, because I almost feel like they would have had these guys, if you notice, they have the Protogen logo here. So they're Protogen, so they work for Malquick, essentially. They're part of the conspiracy of the protomolecule. I like the armor, though. We saw some Protogen armor in the show that was like super hyper advanced. It would self-heal. It did look a little corny at points, but that was kind of the point with it. It was like a really borderline alien to how advanced it was compared to everybody else's. It would self-heal and stuff. They did it in the show pretty well, but I like this armor. This is pretty cool. And you got the nice rifles look good and everything. This is 0G gravity here, and click on the mag boots. The one guy here, I think is like he's got some higher end gear. So this is weird to me. So she's wearing this this UN armor, but like the way she kind of talks is she's Belter.
Zafar, did you get a signal?
After the large haul down this corridor, they shut down this part of the facility. Long time before our arrival. Fine, let's deal with those guys first.
This guy's got like a smart grenade. The smoke bomb action area. Yeah, so she's calling them inners, and that's kind of derogatory. So this is really strange to me that she has UN armor on. I'm trying to figure that out. The other thing too that's weird about this is that like they're using full blown rounds, and like in the Expanse, they typically don't use like full metal jacket rounds. They use plastic rounds because you don't want to blow through the hull of the ship or the station, whatever it is. That said, though, they all are canned up. They have air on, so like, yeah, I guess you could. We can watch that again though.
Before our arrival. Fine. Let's deal with those guys first.
Yeah, he's got to come after. The other thing that's weird too is these guys have these advanced goggles on, and then like they're they couldn't see her. Like she would give off a heat signature. Like when they have like infrared on or something like that, or some sort of like AI assisted motion capture thing, or not motion capture, like sight on that. It's strange to me.
In your Loda. They never look up.
Good comment though. Do you like that? They get in here. Nice lighting. The lighting looks really good. Lab room. This is a really big space though, which is really interesting. Like for a station, even like usually there's not a lot of big open spaces in the Expanse, especially on ships or on stations. You don't have room, and that would be really interesting, especially for like Belters can get a little agoraphobic. So
You're right. They shut down this.
yeah, they don't think about the open area. They're burning. Okay, they're lighting up. Okay.
I need backup.
He says Polito, which is basically like shit.
I'll cover you.
Drone, you can't go on the drones. The drones are really good in 0G because like you don't have to keep them up. They just kind of float anyways. What's interesting about this one though is it's using thrusters like that, where typically it would just be like canned air. You wouldn't be able to like do like hard burns on the thing. Plus burning that hard and that would like it would fly off. The other thing too is like yeah, that's kind of a strange thing. Like to have power like that on it would require like a reactor almost. So you'd have to have like, that's kind of a strange touch. I am really like a nitpick on the realism here because like that's a big thing about the Expanse is the realism, and this feels very like they're stepping above that to make it very arcadey, much more appealing. And I'm kind of a little off put by that. So we got the shield. So this guy's got like power armor on, I think. Yeah, I think it's power armor. Yeah, he's got like the thrust here. Yeah, that's definitely power armor.
Thanks.
But it's kind of like pieced together. And yeah, it looks like the Martian armor a little bit, but it's like it isn't quite as heavy as the full-blown Martian armor. It's kind of like off a little bit. Like you'll see, like he's got like kind of fabric here. This arm doesn't seem quite as armored. This arm doesn't seem nearly as armored. But the chest piece is kind of on point, and the head piece is the helmet's a little bit on point. Plus he's got all these attachments. So maybe it's some sort of like hybrid. It's not like a full-blown power armor suit, but it's like he's taken aspects and kind of salvaged one together, which it makes sense. I can see that being a thing. It definitely doesn't look like it does all the stuff the power armor does in the Expanse, which is like it camouflages. That's a big thing the show didn't really do. Is like they're like Predator. They can do stealth tech on it and like recon and the shoulder mounted things, but it being a gun too. Usually the shoulder mounted weaponry on the power armor in the books in the show is usually either an RPG or a grenade launcher. It's not often like a little submachine gun or something like that. It's pretty handy. The shield's cool though. I actually like the shield of touch because riot shields are a big thing, like in on some of the station security, but even in the RPG, actually, it's like riot like shields are actually like a thing in the game. And my players have never used one, which is probably why a lot of them almost died a lot in the game. Okay.
The bird up high shall be thine eye.
So we got this guy. He's using the drone. Yeah, to pick everything up. The drone has a little gun on it. The problem with the gun though on the drone here is like, and I'm gonna nitpick here a little bit. So we watch this real quick here. Yeah, it doesn't compensate. Like, so one of the problems, and this is clearly 0G because they were going back and forth or very, very low gravity. And one of the issues is like when you fire the weapon, like the thing will throw back, and it didn't really throw back. You would have to have it compensate from being thrown back, and I didn't really see it compensate. So, all right, nice shot of them all. They all have the face lighting, which is in the show. So this guy says, what's his name? Eugene Seanan, 2315. We got a date. This is a big deal seeing dates on this in it. The big thing about the Expanse is that they never really show or talk about like the day of everything. There's a very in the actual show. There's only a few times dates get shown, and one of them is like on like a bottle of like tequila, I think it is, something like that. Maybe wine. I can't remember what it was. And then the other time we really got a date was in the Telltale game. But they've largely kind of focused that the start of the storyline is 2350. And so that's getting dates is a really interesting element of this. This guy, his place of birth is Martian Congressional Republic, Sarua Platum. He's a chief petty officer in the MCRN. So this guy is like working for the Martians. And then he's like, what's kind of trippy here is that he's like heading a Protogen, who's kind of a Earth company contracting. But let me go see if I'm really curious about. Yeah, it's Syria. It's Syria Platinum, not Sarua, which is interesting. That is where does that get referenced? That's an actual place. What's interesting though is that location. Oh, this is where it's going to get good. That location in the Expanse universe, and as far as Expanse goes, was first referenced, never in the books, never in the TV show, but first in the RPG. And so I'm actually really curious about that. We've noticed not an issue, but we've seen the video games have taken stuff from the role-playing game which is not part of the TV show license. So I'm really curious about that. But that is actually a real location on Mars right now. It's actually like a place you can go look up and everything, and we have photos of it. But it's not like we don't know anything about the people that live there in the Expanse time period. But it's a plateau, which is interesting to live on. Okay, cool. But yeah, so we have a Martian officer here. And he's got all the protomolecule crap all over him. And he's had a bad day. So we get all the protomolecules growing out here and everything. And that's how you can tell it's the show continuity right there. Is because it's glowing blue. So like in the books, the stuff's like, it's like a mud. It's like kind of quasi organic looking. It only glows when it gets high energy enough. And this is definitely not it, but it would be going for the reactor and everything. And so for those who don't know, the protomolecule is kind of like the big kind of thing that sets off the Expanse storyline. And basically it's an alien technology. They think it's alive, which it's not really, but it wants, it's very interested in self-replicating cells. So it wants to find life basically, and then it can use life to then do its mission. Which it has a mission. It's trying to build something, but that's I don't want to get into that a little too spoilery. But it's basically alien technology. It's not an alien itself. It's not an actual like calling an organism is like it's like calling a hammer an organism. It's not if you like a wooden hammer. It's like it's not really alive anymore. It doesn't really life. It's made from life, but it's not, and but it's not really the same thing. But so these guys clearly get tied up with this. All right, cool. And they're all freaking out. Yeah, got big bad problems there. Osiris Reborn. I should also mention too. There's a new. This is a new kind of Expanse logo with the spread out X. That's kind of cool to kind of emphasizes that. I actually like that a lot. Actually, that was one of the things I first noticed. I should also mention the name here. Osiris in the show is like it's one of the stealth ships that gets fought. In the books, though, it's referenced in the Vital Abyss, which is one of the short novels, and it's the other station. The main station is Thoth Station, where they're doing the experiments, but then there's Osiris, which is another station. And I'm guessing that was Osiris Station. But then I want to kind of go into what the company has said about these like people and who you play in the game, what kind of the storyline is. We'll come to that here in a moment, but let's see what else we got. So people walk on the surface as Jupiter. I like the this is pretty cool actually, seeing like the growth fields here. So like good ship exterior. I'm digging this a lot. You got the solar panels everywhere. They don't really use solar panels, are just kind of there to like if you want to have the ship run passively. But if you need to have a reactor to have the ship actually go. Let's see here. We got these kind of fields which are gonna neat. This looks like this is some sort of dome. It's an agrodome. It looks like I don't know what this is. It could be Luna. Yeah, no, that's I'm guessing this is Ganymede, which is the main place they grow food in the out in the outer rim or in the outer planets. because like you it has like a kind of a magnetosphere which helps out. It helps out with pregnancy and everything like that too. And they use like mirrors from space to like focus the light onto the different agrodomes. This doesn't. The thing about this is this doesn't. That looks kind of like the ones in the show, but it's much bigger than the ones in the show. But then they have to actually make them, the sets and everything. But it's kind of neat though. It has like these kind of collection things. I'm guessing these are some sort of moisture collectors to consolidate things, and then. But this looks like a. This doesn't really look like a food growing situation. It's not as dense as you would expect. It's probably some sort of like park or something like that. But it's great location. I actually really like this. It's good visual. They have a company here. Yeah, it says agro. So this is like agricultural stuff. Okay, we got Ceres here. So we got a great shot here. A Ceres station. There's the Ceres station logo in the back. I can't. Is it concession or something like that? The Ceres is it looks like Ceres station because I'm pretty sure it's a Ceres logo. It says Ceres pawn here and everything. So I'm guessing this has to be Ceres. What's interesting about this is that like now this would be like one of the Medinas on it and they have stuff growing on the wall, which is really cool. This looks a little like darker and more run down than I expect Ceres station to be, but it could be towards the center, like the center of Ceres station. Because they live underground on it. They have to go down the levels. So like what that would mean, and Ceres is a spin station, so like it has artificial gravity spin, which means that if this guy here standing on the platform and you're looking down, that actually goes out to space, and up would go towards the center of the planet, to the center of Ceres essentially. But I like this shot a lot. They have the air drones too, which is really cool because you want to use air drones. These are a lot more efficient in the atmosphere. That's another thing I have to explain to players. Like they have to like use different types of drones for different environments. We'll go back to that. There's some cool, vitamin shots. What does that say? Sugary solutions. Okay, so Ceres is like the big station. It's the biggest station out in the Sol system, and it's like a lot of people live there. Several million people live there. It's big, really nice, and kind of everyone kind of operates there. It's at the beginning of the Expanse. It's I believe UN controlled. With private security they're provided by Star Helix. So you got a nice little shot there too. Let me go back to that one. Oops. Yeah, so we got a nice little shot of them walking around, which is cool. This is the Dark Prowl. This one kind of banging on the street. Very neat. Okay. I was looking for different kind of like elements here. They have the raw kind of rockish floor because some of the places just carved out of rock. They never when they would build the place, they put stuff down, but it gets worn down. They never replaced it. We get some nice little action shots in space here. That looks just like this looks just like some of the promo shots for the show when it began, which is really cool. Nice rushing job here. Okay, they're going for something like that. Once again, a lot of these places are too open for me, like for how I view the Expanse. Like unless it's like a cargo bay or something like that. But we get kind of the gameplay, which is kind of quasi tactical. The PDCs firing through. Nice particle effects. I'm gonna go through and try to check out some of this gear though they're using. So this guy, they're chilling out. So the galley. So this must be a ship of some sort if it's a galley, or maybe a free-floating station. People firing. I'm trying to figure out. Those look the wrong with that. That looks like the Progen gear we saw earlier. We're trying to grab on. And we got like a hybrid here. But as you can see, we have Alcon involved with it. All the major systems here. Looks pretty cool though. Nice shots here. So I'm guessing these are like the main characters here. I'm guessing the Belter. One thing they're not doing, it looks like, is they're not doing like the elongated belters, like where they're much taller than everybody else. They look different physically. But we have a whole cast of characters here. I'm trying to figure out who's who. This guy at the bottom, I think he's a Martian. He kind of has like a Latino accent to some degree, like some sort of Latin accent, which would make sense for Martians because a lot of their initial founders are of Texan descent, among Chinese and Indian. So like that makes a lot of sense. I'm guessing this guy's the Earther of some sort, and then we have our Belcher, but she has she's using UN gear, which is really interesting to me. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at with all this. I then wanted to take a look at the website for this as well. So I'm going to pull that up here and I'll get out of this video here. So this was kind of interesting. So they have like become a founder. They have a nice little video, so you can go watch it on YouTube. You can here. We don't have a release date. The universe never tells us if we did right or wrong. Okay, yeah, that's a big thing. There's kind of ambiguity of in the expanse of like moral ambiguity and such. They got all their social media, characters. Okay, introduction. Okay, third-person sci-fi action RPG. Okay, universe expanse. Okay, tenuous battle between Earth, Mars, and the Belt is on the brink of collapse. Trust is a scarce commodity. Now it's time to gather a crew and find your own path through the web of lies and leave your mark on the solar system. By the 24th century, yeah, we do have an idea of what century approximately it is. Humanity's conquered the cosmos. They haven't really conquered the cosmos at that point, actually. They've gotten out into the solar system, but they haven't gotten much farther past than like Neptune or Uranus. They haven't gone to other systems. They are looking to it, though. The Mormons are on board. If you haven't watched it, and please watch the show and read the books if you understand why the Mormons are trying to go to space. You need to adapt and survive. Okay, Motley Crue, United. Okay, so they kind of have like a blend of everybody. You've also your choice between making the pressures. Okay, so becoming a founder is basically just order the game early on. And they have like various packs. So they have like the main copy, basically early adopter, Discord role. So just get the straight copy of it. Collector's edition. That is what I went for, the big collector's edition here. And they had like Miller's pack, which was basically you get like a bunch of stuff. Deluxe pack was you got like Miller's OPA armor, Spec Ops suit, name and credit, early adopter. I went for this one though, which is to get all the stuff. And there was some kind of cool, in the collector's edition, there was some cool stuff here too. I really was digging, they have the art book, which is nice, and the patches. I'm big on patches. I have a lot of Expanse patches, and I have like a flight suit they wear for that. So I wanted to have all that stuff. The ship they have, the Gemini. The medallion, which I'm really curious what the medallion's about. You don't really see a lot of like people wearing necklaces in space in it because it'll basically kill you. Can't stop the signal. Okay, you got little chibi characters, kind of fun little screaming firehawk symbol, Belta Loda. Okay, cool. Then you got all the in-game stuff. It was a nice little set, nice box. So looking forward to getting that for sure. I went for that one here, and the like. Now, let's go through the press kit here. What do we got in the press kit? Okay, I'll load Google Drive. Let's see here. Osiris Reborn. Let's read this real quick here. Let's see here. So it was really interesting. You're a Pinkwater security mercenary. So Pinkwater is a private security company. They were the ones that provided security on Ganymede initially, and they're, I believe, are Martian based. I believe so. I know they run Ganymede. They're a private security company though, and I could swear they're like Martian based, but I could be wrong on that too. They might be Earth based for all I know. But okay, so you're Pinkwater, okay, mercenary, and yeah, and that's what they do, is they do some mercenary work here. Most of their stuff is just station security, like Star Helix. Earth or Martian Belter, lead crew specialist. Okay. Dynamic third-person combat. Okay, Fractured World. Okay. On this end, you get to talk to locals, uncover secrets, skills and influence. This looks different for every rock. Yeah, everyone has different perspectives on what's going on. And you might see sometimes a familiar name or a voice reminds you of how small a system is. So that's a big thing too. Is that it's kind of been the question of like, are they going to bring people from the show in? And the like. I'm sure they will. There's been a lot of rumors about that. Here we got some gifs here. Okay, cool. We got some nice little press kit gifs, key art. So we have like the cover, very nice logos. I am digging the new logo a lot. I like that spread in the X. I think that's really clever. Some screenshots of the game here. Trailer renders. Okay, so some stills from the trailer. And then the video itself. So very cool. I think that they got a lot going for them here so far. I will say this, I am very picky on the Expanse. I was able to pick apart the Telltale game. I can pick apart elements that kind of work and don't work here. So I'm really curious about this. This looks very actiony. And like what's interesting to me is like this much like open warfare kind of situation like this would like rouse the attention of a lot of people. So I'm really curious like how this is playing out. From my understanding with this is that if they are focusing on a Osiris station, which is the current rumor, and they're trying to like loop you into the Expanse like conspiracy of the first book, basically season 1.5. My problem with that is that the whole idea is that the conspiracy is like really kept under wraps. No one really knows what's going on until it's too late. And I feel like the Telltale game dealt with that, and this is going to deal with it. And I feel like everyone's kind of dealing with it, and it's kind of a question of like, well, how secret was it really? If all these people are kind of involved with it. So that's my concern with it. And I feel like we're really preying on that one storyline, that one thread a lot. Versus, I would say, like, looking at other conflicts, other elements, and the like. So it looks like the main protagonist is going to, or the main antagonist is going to be Protogen. Making Pinkwater the protagonist is interesting because they're like a merc company. They're independent. They're a corporation fundamentally. So this, like, what's weird is that you're not like a mercenary unit that's just doing your business for yourselves. Like, you have investors. You have support from off world somewhere. And so for some people to take this like ship and go rogue with it is really interesting. I'm curious how badass this ship actually is. The Gemini. So I'm looking forward to all this and such like that too. But so far I got some interesting ideas about this. And I'm kind of curious what's happening with it. But yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like I'm here for it. I really want to see all the stuff here. We got some characters here. Haunted past. Yeah, that's a big thing. Everyone's got kind of a past. Some people have more past in their past than others. You get a shared home, command center. Yeah, ship's a big bonding element. Okay, where you lead your crew. So I'm kind of curious how they kind of do that all. Combats. They're doing this. Yeah, it's kind of like quasi tactical thing. It has a role playing element too, so you can you get experience points. I'm guessing you build up your character. Exploration. I actually really like the interior renders here of Series. I'm actually really impressed by this. It's nice and layered. It shows how complicated it is, how the infrastructure has to be exposed. This is definitely towards the center of it, not like the nicer areas. So I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing how this all plays out. I'd recommend anybody that's interested in this universe before it comes out, because we don't know when the release date is. I'm guessing it's going to be in well over a year. I would recommend watching the show. Check out the comic books. Actually, the comics from Boom are actually quite good. Origins has some of them are quite good, but I'd watch the show first and go back and read some of the comics. I recommend the novels. You can't go wrong with the novels. I recommend the role-playing game. It is a different continuity. You'll read the books and there's some substantial differences. But the Osiris station only gets referenced in the books. It doesn't get referenced in the show, I believe, and there's the ship, but as far as the station goes, which is what I'm guessing they're doing. I'm also really intrigued by the name of this, Osiris Reborn. So for my show, Avex's Precipice, where we play the Expanse role-playing game, each phase of it, or kind of seasons, if you will, has a different name. And we did one called Thea Reborn. And so I'm always kind of curious what the names reference. Hopefully they reference something like that. We have to always kind of decipher what each name of each story means of the Expanse. They have relevance. So it's a big thing to have that kind of like, you kind of have like a verb with a ancient mythological being of some sort. They might have like a double meaning of some sort. So like Thea for us was like, we were looking at like Thea who's a goddess, but also like the theory of Thea, which is basically like the Earth and the Moon were once one thing, called giant super planet called, or not super planet, but a bigger planet called Thea. So we've had some, it's kind of interesting to kind of see and decipher what that means and the like. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's interesting. I'm really curious. I'm really curious about the flamethrower there, actually, because we didn't get I don't think we got a lot of flamethrowers on the Expanse in the show, and we have one of my characters in my party like really likes flamethrowers. So we're kind of curious how that works and how if they do it realistically or not. And that's my kind of concern right now, is I feel like I'm seeing some elements of this that are really not egregious, but are kind of like pulling me out of that. Like a lot of this is this really down to earth and such, and the people in the Expanse are smart, and so I get concerned when and the technology is smart, and so it's cleverly done and everything's like very accurate, but I get worried when things are kind of like off that, and that kind of pulls me out of it. So I'm looking forward to this one though. All right, guys. Well, you can go find me anywhere online. Only Play Wizards. I run Aberx Precipice. You can go find us anywhere with that. Everyone, thank you very much for hanging out here and hopefully enjoy the video. I'm looking forward to the game. Let me know your thoughts on it. Please drop comments. Hit me up online. If you have any questions about the Expanse universe, I'm more than happy to take them. Everyone, you all have a fun time. Take it easy later.